right? So there's different languages use different notations, and you should know them all because I don't know, you should, right? So in Java, they say here star next node, and why do they say that? Is, do I write it down? Right? If next is of type pointer to an object, and you do star in front of it, then it means the object you're pointing at, right? So if you say node star head, it's kind of a funny notation for saying head's going to be a new variable, and it's going to be a pointer, and what it's pointing at is going to be a node, right? So that's basically saying head is of type pointer to node, right? Right? So then in C, what you do is you want head to point at a block of memory, and all you care about is that it's empty, or not that it's empty, nobody else is caring about it, and that it's big enough for your node, right? So what does malloc do? It just gives you a new block of memory of the right size. It doesn't care what you're going to do with it. And size of just tells you how much space you need, right? So this is, as I say, in C, you're really down in the workings of the computer, right? We're implementing the computer. So this just says, this is compile time. I mean, here's the difference between compile time and runtime, right? At compile time, the compiler goes up and figures out how big your node needs to be, right? And in the machine code that runs, this size of is actually a real integer, right? And it's calling malloc to give you the right size, right, during runtime. And then their notation is, so it's sort of funny. So if head is of type pointer to a structure, keep track of types here, right? Head is of type pointer to that structure. So star head is that structure, right? And once you're at that structure, right, I never remember to bring pens, all right? So if you do star head is that structure, then you can go dot element, right? Structures, you can do a dot, right? So star head dot element gets you there, right? But there's a faster notation, which is the arrow, which says head points at something, and the arrow says, go to the thing that you're pointing at, which is a record, and find the element within it, right? Right? So you see these are all nuanced, different types. And in C, you definitely have to keep track of all these types. And in Java, maybe for somebody who's never coded before, it makes it easier. But for me, I'm thinking, what's really going on here, right? So maybe it's just me who was so used to C got upset with Java. Everybody kind of follow this? All right, Java, as we say in Java, there are no pointers. So you just say node head. And if you say int head, then head will be that integer. But if you say node head, well, you never allocate actual nodes. We know that head's not actually a node. Head is a pointer to a node, right? to me that that's a lie, right? So they kind of say head is that node. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Maybe I'm okay with head being that node. But now what happens when a node contains a node contains a node, right? Does it look like this? Absolutely not, right? I'm sure if you kind of went down that road, something would go wrong, right? Right, so get some sushi there. Everybody good? Oh, here we go, a little bit more recursion, right? All right, so what are we doing now? Oh, we're going over to Python, all right? Python, you don't have to, you can if you want to, but you don't have to declare the type of anything, right? So, I don't know how they really implement it. Here we say node. Well, I guess in Python, everything's going to be a pointer. So everything's of size integer, right? This is going to be an integer, and you can put an integer in there, or you could put a pointer in there, right? And so when we say, hey, head is going to be a new node, well, head is going to point at this node, or head will be that node that has two fields, right? Each of size an integer, which will then point at something else, right? So, I don't know, you can see if you're flipping between these, keeping track of what's really going on, I think is useful. That's all I'm saying, right? Right, so in I guess Python will just do this. It says, right, I think in Java, do you say new? Yeah, in Java, you say new, right? So here, I guess node is just a routine like any other routine. And when you call it, it allocates space for it and gives you a pointer to it, right? Well, in Java, you say new node, I think. So